Coach Dana Ford, head basketball coach of Missouri State. Coach Ford, I just wanted to ask you, growing up, great high school basketball player, played college basketball at Illinois State. What pushed you to pursue basketball and then coaching after your playing career?
Well, I grew up in a small town in southern Illinois, and basketball was king, and that's really the only thing that we had to do. And fell in love with the game at a young age. Was fortunate enough to play in college, and after college, I had a decision to make. And I've been impacted by coaches my entire life. My high school coach, Chuck Doty. My college coach is Tom Richardson, Porter Moser. And so fortunately I chose that path, and it's been a great experience.
I'm OU alum, so I got to hear Coach Moser speak before the season this year. His energy is just contagious. What is something that you learned from Coach Moser in your playing career that you implement with your current teams today?
Well, I learned a lot from him, and he's got a tremendous basketball mind. Just the importance of body language, the importance of habits, the importance of commitment, attention to detail. There are so many things that we try to implement in our program right now on a daily basis as well.
What was it like before you're even 30 years old, getting offered a head Division I coaching job, being the youngest coach in college basketball?
It was a very humbling experience. It was unique. 28 years old, head coach, something that you dream about. Not necessarily doing it by that age, but you feel like one day you can run your program. And Teresa Phillips, athletic director at Tennessee State at the time, believed in me, and so very appreciative for that. And just every day of my life, I'm thankful to be a college basketball coach.
Take me through the lows, I guess, of your first season, 5 wins, to then the highs of your very next year, quadrupling that, getting 20 wins at a program that had only had a winning season 2 times in the last 19 years.
The first year was tough. We took over a program, and we basically had to bring in 12 new players, and that was not an easy task, but it was something that had to be done. And it was sort of a blessing in disguise, because we had a chance to implement our culture from day one, because all the players were guys that we had brought in, and the one returner was a guy that I had signed when I was an assistant coach there. And so that was fortunate, and that helped us. The following year, our culture was in place. We just need to add a few more bodies, a few more guys that could do some things. And our kids played really hard, great kids, and won a lot of close games, and ultimately ended up with a 20-win season.
When you're an assistant at Wichita State, you land Fred Van Fleet. When you're at Tennessee State as a head, you land Robert Covington. How were you able to find those diamonds in the rough, and then what is it like seeing their success in the NBA?
I'm just a blessed man. I mean, I like to say that it's something else, but it's just the Lord lead me to the right places at the right times, to be honest. Both of those guys are coach's dream, high character kids, tough, underachievers, play with a chip on their shoulder, and become overachievers, But it's exciting to see those guys have success, because they're following their dreams. And I use those guys as examples to our players every single day, that you can obtain your dreams no matter where you go.
Right. Last year, 23 wins here at Missouri State, most wins in the program in the last 11 years. What did that mean for you personally, and then for this program?
Well, just personally, I was happy for our players. We had a couple guys that had stuck together for a few years, and we had a big kid, Gage Prim, that could have transferred and went anywhere in the country, but stuck with us. And then we had a dynamic guard, Isaiah Mosley, probably the same scenario. But and then we had a host of high character guys play around them. Javonte Black, Lukai Patterson, Isaac Haney, Keaton Hervey, Donnie Clay. I mean, so we had a nice mixture of guys, and so just personally, I was just happy for the players.
This year, replacing essentially your entire roster, nearly Donovan Clay, the only guy averaging over 2 points a game returning. What was that challenge like, and how are you able to get chemistry to gel so quickly?
Yeah, it wasn't an ideal situation, but we had to play the hand of cards that we were dealt, and it was challenging, because that's a lot of phone calls, it's a lot of official visits, it's a lot of background check, character check, and I give credit to our staff. They did a great job, and we've assembled a group of guys that have the potential to develop into a really good team. This year has been up and down due to a lot of different reasons. But I think most importantly, just struggling with the level of consistency you need to be good every day. But I think that comes with age. And, you know, I have a lot of fun coaching this group, very fun group. So looking forward to see how they can develop over the next couple of years.
How integral has Donovan Clay played in being able to carry that identity, the culture that you've established in previous years to this team with so many newcomers?
He's played a big part in that, and just, you know, having an understanding of what we like to do in regards to how we like to operate, having a voice in the locker room, you know, especially dealing with so many first-year Division I players. I think that's very important. And, you know, Donnie wants to win, first and foremost. And I think that, you know, throughout the course of this year has helped bring along some guys a little quicker than what we imagined.
You've been able to bring in 3 Power 6 transfers, along with 2 guys that played for NCAA tournament teams at mid-majors a year ago. What are your thoughts just in general on the transfer portal? Clearly you're able to utilize it for your success.
You know, I think it's some positives and some negatives. With our situation of signing so many players, we felt that it was necessary to tap into it a little bit. You know, each year is a different challenge. Each team needs a different type of player. But it's good to have that option if you need it. And then it's good for the players to have the option if they're using it for the right reasons. But that's like anything. And so, you know, my thoughts on the portal is it's here to stay. And I think the best advice is to figure out how to utilize it in order to help your program.
The previous 3 years, you all had been about middle of the pack in the country in tempo. This year, 355th out of 363. What has been the reasoning for that concerted effort to play a slower style?
Well, we struggle taking care of the ball. And you know, when we play really, really fast, we turn the ball over and the other team gets it and lays it in or gets an open shot. So until we can mature and develop our skill to where we can take care of the ball, and it's best that we take our time and at least get a shot at the rim.
Right, that makes sense. Do you feel like your team is peaking at the right time as we head towards March and Arch Madness?
Well, you know, prior to our last 2 games, I felt like we were starting to play really, really a lot better. Our last 2 games, we haven't necessarily started one game very well and then finished another game very well. But I do think in between we're doing some good things. What I like about our group is they're high character, they keep working, they're a lot of fun, and I do think that they can get hot and beat anybody. And we've proven that. We've got, I want to say, 4 wins against the top 5 teams in our league, and that's not easy to do.
Right.
So, you know, we'll continue to work at it and hopefully play our best basketball a week from now.
Right. To that point, you all have already swept Drake. What kind of confidence does that give your guys in the locker room that, hey, we can play with anybody in this conference, we just have to be playing our best basketball come early March?
I think it gives the guys a lot of confidence. Drake's a really good team, a program we have a lot of respect for. They're obviously one of the best mid-major, if not one of the best programs in the country this year. And so just being able to draw back from those experiences throughout the year should help us, and not only help us this year, but help us in the years to come.
I've got a bit of a tough question for you. I noticed through your career you had 6 conference tournament losses by 1 possession or less. What is the lows of that like to end your season when you're so close to surviving and advancing? And then conversely, does that fuel your fire even more to bring home a conference championship?
It's a great question, and I think it does. You know, I think those hardships that we've dealt with have fueled us to continue to keep going and you know, looking for our opportunity to eventually break through one day. I didn't quite know it was that many. But,
Sorry, Coach.
That's okay. I'll remember.
Yeah. I wanted to give you a chance, if you'd like to speak on your faith and what that's done for you within coaching and impacting young people's lives as a coach.
Yeah, it's been really important to me, and it's developed over time. My wife, Christina, has really helped me. It's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I take very serious. You know, no one's perfect, but I think that's the beauty of your faith, is having someone to lean on, to carry you, and just be there for you, especially in tough times, you know. And so we've all got to spend eternity somewhere. And
yes, sir.
I'd like to spend mine in paradise.
Yes, sir. Last question for you. I'd like to give you a second to speak on your foundation, what that is, and what, I guess, inspired you to start that.
So the Rebound Foundation was started by my wife, Christina, and I, and both being from families where domestic violence has a nasty history. And after the birth of our daughter, Charlie Rose, 8 years ago, we felt like we needed to be able to reach out and help our community that she was growing up in some way. And so we started the Rebound Foundation, and we provide transitional housing for women and children that leave a shelter. And we do that for 6 months to a year. We pay their bills, we buy their groceries. We give them everything they need to rebuild their lives. And job placement, financial literacy, and we just try to give people a second chance. You know, it's no different than basketball. You miss your first shot, get the rebound, and hopefully get another shot.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Coach. Wishing you and your team best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.